Okay, you are now live, and I will yeah, right now I am not showing up in Google Meet. Yes, you don't need to see that. We will start talking about chapter 4 once again. Let's go back to the introduction part. I think we have gone through this because the slide was updated before I presented it to you yesterday. So the code share can be closed now. I think I just added this yesterday or last night. Yeah, last night. So this is to show you, since we know we have three different types of repetition structure here: while, do while, and for. And the last one is nested. Nested is basically you are combining like while loop inside while loop or for loop inside for loop. Ibni, hey, resume presenting. Okay, can you see my screen now, guys?
Oh, yes.
That did you just now? How about just now when I talk about YouTube and all that? Did you see my screen?
Ada.
Oh, ada. Because
Ada.
it's a bit weird when I see the button down here is saying resume presenting. It seems like I wasn't presenting to you earlier. Weird. Okay, so let me get back to this. So we have these three different structure that we will discuss further later on, and we have got this nested loop down here. I will go to the assignment. Okay, right before we end the class. You remember the assignment that I gave you yesterday? I've checked quite a few of you, and your code is 100% correct, so I don't think you have any issue with writing the code, but I will demonstrate it to you how to write the code properly starting from scratch. Okay, based on the flowchart and the pseudocode that we have made. Okay, back to this. So you look at this while loop structure, the easiest one, the one that we did just now, the one that we did with animation, the one that we are going to study even in more details afterward. So this is the flowchart of while loop. You might have a previous process at the top. This process might be declaration, you assigning value, you create a variable to be used as the loop control variable. You can do anything you want up there, and then you will come across this while loop structure, which is you will compare a condition, okay, to some value. Okay, if the condition is true, you enter the loop body. As you can see right here on at the bottom here, you have this while with condition. So if the condition is true, then you do the loop body. If the condition is false, you will skip the loop body and proceed to next process. So let this be the condition once again. Okay, so that is regarding while loop. Okay, while loop is a very simple loop structure. For do while loop is the opposite of while loop. It's basically putting the while condition below the loop body, as you can see right here. I think it's gonna get in the way of my face. My face is over here in YouTube, so I will put it somewhere up here. Okay. You have a previous process as well. Maybe you declare your variables. Wait, someone is WhatsApping me. Okay, you have your initialization of loop control variable here, and then you go straight into loop body. As you can see from this structure, you might have some process up here. You declare your loop control variable, and then you get to the loop body first. You do the loop body first, and then you check the condition, meaning that for do while structure, even though the condition is gonna be false, in the first place, the condition is obviously gonna be false, right? Let's say the condition is obviously false, but the loop body will be executed once. Okay, at least it's gonna be executed once. Comparing to the standard while structure here, if the condition is immediately false, you will never see the loop body at all. Okay, the loop body will not be executed at all. So that is the difference between the standard while structure with the do while structure. Okay, as you can see here, I'm placing this bubble here. Do starts here. The do starts somewhere after, somewhere before the loop body, as you can see from the structure here. And then after you perform the loop body once, you check the condition. This is where you do the while comparing things. You have the comparison inside the parenthesis here. And then if the condition is true, you keep on repeating the loop body for as long as the condition is true. Once the condition has written false, then you exit the loop. Okay, this is another variation of looping, but it is more complex, more systematic actually, in the way that where you place all your looping requirement is everything inside the parentheses, unlike while structure. While structure is a bit scattered. The same goes to do while structure. When it comes to the how we control the looping here, okay, we control the looping here is a bit scattered. But in for loop structure is very systematic, because everything is inside this parenthesis, right? So you start off with your init variable here, and then you will check if the variable that you initialize is having a true or false condition here. So this is where you cross check the init variable with the condition that you are making. If the condition is true, then you do the loop body, and then after you do the loop body, after you finish all the statements down there, you will go up here and check the update variable. Okay, you are doing this update loop counter variable. So you are going to update the LCV. Okay, we call it LCV, is on the next page. LCV loop control variable. You will know about this later on. We will do a simple example on that. As you notice, I might have two different structure here. I will delete this one. Okay, this is basically the flow chart here. Okay, so after you update the loop control variable, you will check again with condition until the condition returns false. Then you proceed to the next process. And lastly, you have this nested loop. Nested loop is whenever you have multiple loop inside loop, something like this. This is the second loop inside the larger first loop. Okay, this is your loop number 1, and then this is loop number 2 that is currently located inside loop number 1. Alright, the same goes to for loop here. This is the first for loop, and then inside there you have the second for loop. But for loop is very interesting because of these three parameters here. Okay, as you can see, I will just explain it to you verbally now without demonstrating anything on for loop, because we will dedicate one session for this for loop later, because for loop is quite complex in when it comes to understanding the sequence here. So init is executed one time before the execution of the block. The block is the whole for loop block here. So before the execution, you execute the init first. You look at the value of your LCV, the first value of your LCV, and then you will check the condition. The condition will define how many times you need to repeat the block here. And then after that you will update the LCV every time. So you will update it every time after the code block has been executed. So there is a sequence. I have put it in numerical manner here, but let's just get to this later on. Alright, this is regarding the type of repetition structure, the one that we are going to look at afterward. Okay, after this, just in a short while. Okay, in this slide number 9, we are going to visit these 3 methods. So types of repetition structure, there are 3. Counter control loop, the one that we did yesterday. Basically the one that we did yesterday was the whole thing. We did all these 3 basically, or not really the flag method. I think we only did these 2. So the first one is counter control loop, the second one is sentinel control loop, and the last one is flag control loop. Okay, you might not be able to understand what does this counter control mean, sentinel mean, or flag. So it seems like gibberish to you now. Okay, we will go to the next slide to really understand what is meant by all these terms right here. And the second one is a repetition requirement. Okay, you need to have loop control variable, you need to have the loop condition, and then the loop body. As you can see from, let's say we use this for loop structure for our example here. You must have your loop control variable is here, update here. This is actually the LCV. Okay, and the condition is here, and then the loop body is here, and you must have some init value as well, even though it's not part of the requirement here. Okay guys, okay, right, I hope you guys are still following me. Alright, so this is the type of repetition structure that we are gonna look at. The first structure is counter control. Counter control means we use number to count how many iterations do we want to use, do we want to have. Something like the previous exercise yesterday, we print out the square number of from 0 to 9, and then we reiterate the loop, so to get the complete set of numbers from 0 to 9. So this is basically the code here. I will demonstrate it to you now straight away. Item, and then terminal. So I will get to the content of my main, and then I replace it with this one. So let's do a quick tabbing here. Alright, so this is the code right here. Obviously what you're gonna get here is 0 until 8. 0 until 8. It's not until 9 due to the fact that I'm limiting. Okay, I will delete this loop body. I am limiting my I value here to start from 0. This is what we call init value. This is my init value. Init value is, init comes from the word initial value. Normally in programming we shorten it to init rather than spelling it initial. So this doesn't have anything to do with int. Don't get confused with int. Int is integer. Okay, init is just initial. The starting value of my counter, the init value for my LCV, right? LCV is loop control variable. Loop control variable. I'll make my terminal smaller, and then this one gets bigger. Right? Okay, so we have 9 here as the maximum number, so you will only print out until 8. If you reduce it like to 5, Okay, then the maximum number is gonna be what? Berapa kalau 5?
Keempat.
4. Betul. Right? 4. But the number here, it depends on the position of your LCV update here. This is LCV update. So if you put the LCV update before your cout statement, you will get a different result. It starts from 1, it stops at 5. Okay, so how do we analyze this anyway? Because you are currently using your code editor, you can use your code block, you can use your development C++, but thankfully you are not having a final exam this semester. You are not having a proper examination in the sense of you are not sitting in an exam hall being watched by invigilator. You are going to do your test, your quiz all by yourself in your room, so you can do whatever you want. You can have hundreds of references around you when you answering your question later on. So is good and bad, you know. There's a pro and cons of this whatever it is happening right now, but I will show you how to analyze the looping here. How do we get to print out from 0 to 4 or 0 to 1 to 5, something like this. Okay, so let's go to this slide right here. I have done this earlier this morning, so let me delete everything so that we can start off fresh. Yeah. Okay, this is what we call tracing table. Okay, I will name this as tracing table. Tracing table, output tracing table, or we can call it loop tracing table. This will help you out in analyzing the loop. Okay, since you are not using your computer by right in final exam, so you have to be able to analyze the loop one by one for each iteration. So what you're supposed to have here is basically looking at the code. This is the same code as the one that I did in Atom just now. Okay, are you guys looking at my Google slide now?
Yes.
Alright, we will go through this real quick. Since your code only have one variable, which is the init LCV just now, so we have this I here, I variable being at the first column here. Okay, everyone needs to be inside this Google, or you can look, you can use your own Google slide as well if you are not willing to watch this stream through Google Meet, but you won't see me switching between Atom and my terminal if you do so. So if you watch me through Google Meet, then you can see everything that I'm doing. Alright, so the next column is for the condition. As you can see, we are doing this column by column. Actually, it's following the sequence of process that you're gonna do. As you can see, my first process is determining the value of I here. So I have my I being initialized here, so the I value must be at the first column, and then we will do the condition later. So my second column is for the condition, and then I will go into my loop body. As you can see here, my loop body, and the loop body consists of two processes actually. So one is we printing out the value of I, and then we go to the new line due to A and the L here. And then this next process, the second process inside our loop body, is gonna be I plus equal to 1. And I plus equal to 1 is basically similar to I equal to I plus 1. So these two are similar, okay? These two are similar. So you can use either method to perform this update, variable update. So update LCV, I put update LCV. So by now you should be able to figure out what LCV is. LCV is loop control variable. I don't have to repeat that once again. It's here, loop control variable. So our loop control variable now is basically I. This I is basically LCV. So how do we start analyzing this code? So I will make the font as Roboto. I will centralize everything here in the middle, and then I change the color to white, right? So our first value of I is 0 here. As you can see, we init it to 0, and then we go straight to the condition here. This I is 0 right now, so is 0 lesser than 5. Inside this condition, we normally write true or false, so it is true. And then once the condition is true, you will execute the loop body. You will look at the third column here, and then the first thing to do here is see out I, which is 0. You see out I, and then you go to new line, right? You go to new line. So basically you just leave it as is, like this, and then that's it for the see out statement. And then lastly, you need to update your I value. 0 plus 1 will become 1. Okay, and then you will bring this value down to the first column. Okay, 1. So now your I here is 1. I here is 1, so is 1 lesser than 5, the boolean is still gonna return true. And then you will see out, do the see out once again. So you get back the previous value 0, and then you write the new value of I here, which is 1, due to the fact that you are having this ENDL. So after you print out the first one previously, now you need to print out the second one, 1. And then currently the value of I is 1. 1 plus 1 is gonna be 2, and then you bring this 2 to the first column. And then this one is also true, so you will print out 0, 1, 2, and then 2 plus 1 is 3. You bring the updated LCV to the first column. Here is 3 compared with 5, so it's still true. So you will print out 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 plus 1 is 4. Right, everything seems to be so big now. Okay, we will make it smaller. Alright, so let's get to 4. Now we have 4 as our I, new I value, new updated I. So 4 is still lesser than 5, so that still returns true. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 4 plus 1 is 5. Okay, probably because I put the table too low. Okay, right. And lastly, we have 5 here. The updated value must be placed here as well, 5. And then is 5 lesser than 5? The condition will return false, because 5 is equivalent to 5. 5 is not lesser than 5. So we will exit the loop. Okay guys, paham tak? So where is your final output? Your final output is here just now, right? So it's something similar to this one. Okay, all right. So how about if we change the position, right? If we change the position, it looks something like this. I will go very fast now with this. The problem with cutting them, cutting the value here will eventually removing all the stuff inside here. Deleting will also removing all the stuff there. So by doing it using this nope method is the only way I can somehow clear my. Is there any clear delete? Oh, delete. Okay, all right. But somehow the formatting is mixing up now. Okay, I need to do this. All right, so let's change the position of your update LCB. Your update LCB is now before your printing out. As you can see, the table here might look similar to the previous table, but as you can see here, I switched the position of updating LCB with the loop body, with the cout I. Okay, you realize this? The difference between this new table and the previous table is that the positioning of the loop body is different. Okay, so here the I++ comes first, because once you get into the loop body, you will update the LCB first, barulah you cout I. So let's start with 0 here. Sorry, what do you say? Is it just slow response? Yes sir.
No, my mic was not functioning. Sorry, sir.
Oh, okay. Alright. Okay, so 0 is lesser than 5, so it's true. And then you will do this I++ straight away. straight away. So I++ straight away, you get 1. So what you are going to print out here is 1. Okay, it seems like my font is not of the same size here. I need to change them. Make it it's supposed to be 10, maybe. Right, 10. Right, so I will output my first value of I there, and then I will bring my latest updated I, which is 1, to the first column. And then let's check again. 1 is lesser than 5, so it is still returning true. And then I++, 1 plus is gonna be 2. Right? It's gonna return 2 after that line. After that line, it's gonna be 2. Not immediately on this line is updating to 2. When it gets to the second line afterward, then the I is gonna be updated to 2. We will discuss on pre and post increment in more details later. And then you will output 1, 2. And then the current value of I is 2, so 2 is lesser than 5 is still true. And here 2 plus 1 is 3, so 1, 2, 3. And then 3 is our current I, so 3 is still lower than 5. So 3 plus 1 is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So our current value of I is 4. It's still true, the condition. And then the I++ will return 5. Okay, the output of I++ here is 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the current value of I is 5. Is 5 lesser than 5? Then you will come across the false statement here. Okay, it's no longer true when the I value is 5. And then you will exit the loop. That is why you are getting this as your output up here. Right? Okay, did I make myself clear? Do you guys understand this? Okay, this is how you analyze counter control loop. Okay, you by right you should be doing this in your exam, but since you are not having any formal examination, you don't need to do this, right? You don't need to do this. Yeah, you can just have a look at your code block, you try it on your own. You can do that behind our back. There's no one watching you. Alright, these are the different types of loop. Okay, what should we do next? Oh, we have to go back here, up here. Alright, next is the sentinel control. Sentinel sounds like pretty familiar to you, right? Sentinel. What do you know about Sentinel?
Oh, Marvel pun.
Marvel pun. Oh, Marvel pun. Bukan lah. It's Transformers lah. Sentinel. If you type Sentinel, it's not enough, right? But if you go to Google Image, for sure you will see Sentinel Prime. Oh, Marvel ada juga. Oh, I thought you were bluffing. Sentinel is what? Huh? Is it a new character or what? I'm not really into Sentinel is X-Men kah? Okay, alright, interesting. So Sentinel is basically a value, one value of interest that will determine whether you keep on looping or you stop the loop. Okay, this is what Sentinel means. Sentinel is just that one value that is used as the comparison value in your while condition here, and it will determine whether you keep on looping or exiting the loop. Something like this example right here. Let's try this in our compiler here. So it's pretty messy here. Okay, I will do the tabbing to make it nicer. Oops. Right. Well, okay. Well, this is good enough. Let me run the code quick. Alright. So enter I value. As you can see, the prompt is asking me to enter any value. I can enter any value, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As I enter new value, it will print out that value for me as well. So from where you see in the code here on line 11, it is C outline, right? There is a C outline here. That is why after I enter one value, it will re-display the value for me. So you can enter any number as you wish, and even negative number is also acceptable, 0 acceptable, except for that one value which is 100. As you can see inside my condition here, this is a sentinel value right here. While I is not equivalent to 100, right? Okay, how to interpret this? For as long as I is not equivalent to 100, you keep on looping. Okay, for as long as I is not 100. So now I enter 100, it will stop looping. As you can see, my terminal is back here. Okay, 100 is the only value that will allow you to exit the loop. Okay, otherwise you will remain in the loop and you keep on being asked to re-enter the number. Okay, do you understand this, guys? Sentinel.
Yes.
Sentinel is basically like the example on password yesterday. We have done that. Okay, this is also part of Sentinel code here. Guessing the number. I think we have done that yesterday. So that is Sentinel value. Alright, and then flag control. Okay, this is another interesting structure here. I will copy this. That's basically it regarding Sentinel. I don't think I need to show you anything else. Okay, we can change the value real quick if you plan on looking at different Sentinel values. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, other number, even 9999 is not the Sentinel value. 99 is not the Sentinel value. Only 999 is the Sentinel value here. So you will exit the loop. As you can see, it's exiting the loop without telling you anything, right? You can add something down here so that the user knows that they have managed to exit the loop. So you can say loop exited. Okay, loop exited here. So we will recompile the code. As you can see, right, 999. It will say loop exited before it shows you the new terminal. Okay.
Okay.
This is basically it. This is what you can do with it. This can be used to compare password, something like what we did yesterday. So either the password is correct or password is wrong, then you can do this, use this method. For as long as the pin is not 999. This can be your pin, right? The pin number. So for as long as your pin is incorrect, you keep on asking that. But if you get too many incorrect input, you break from the loop, and then you give some explanation to the user here. So that is how you play around with this. Let me get straight to flag control. Okay. Oh, it's the content only. Right. Okay, flag control is basically something similar, almost similar with the sentinel just now. You are only having one value inside the parenthesis of your loop structure. In this case, we are using while loop because it's the easiest structure to be used here. And for flag, is actually referring to the variable that you are using it as the variable that you plan on using as the condition. So now our declaration up here is Boolean repeat. So this is basically our condition, our flag. So right now it is true. Okay, true here can also be written as 1. So 1 is referring to true. Your C++ will automatically knows what 1 means here. Okay, 1 is referring to true and 0 is referring to false. So let me try and run it for you. Okay, the question will ask me still repeat for as long as I enter 1 or any number basically, or it will return as okay, it will crash the code. Okay, don't do that, okay. Just ignore that. Okay, so for now it's still Boolean. Okay, let's keep with Boolean first. So 1 will let the computer repeat the process. When you press 0, it's gonna be false. So when you press 0, it will say loop exited due to repeat equal to 0. So for Boolean data type, for as long as you enter 1, it means true. So for as long as this condition true, then you will keep on repeating these tasks right here, all this process right here. And when the condition is false, so you will exit the loop. So remember, whenever we are doing anything related to Boolean, there is only two possible values here. It's either 1 or 0. So 1 means true, 0 means false. Okay, but it's weird. Why is other number is not working? I thought I have tried this earlier this morning. It worked. Boolean repeat true. It's weird. Never mind. Okay, that is regarding flag. Or you can use other method of declaring this repeat value. Something like you have another variable, let's say another variable. So you have like you have a number here, you have a number, and then inside here you are not going to input the repeat in your cin statement. You are going to input your num as your cin statement here, right? And then you are going to add this if condition inside here. If num equal to 1, or if num is not equal to 0, okay, if num is not equal to 0, then repeat is gonna be equal to true. Okay, else repeat is gonna be false. Okay, this is one way of writing your if statement. Maybe I've never shown this to you before. Are you guys looking at this now?
Yes.
Where are you guys now? Right? This is the most the most professional way of writing this. Consider yourself as a pro programmer and you feel like becoming a pro. This is how you write your if statement. When you see a professional program, right, if they have only one statement underneath the if condition, something like this, okay, right, this is the most appropriate way of writing it. Okay, if you look in the book, right, you go and look for any references online, this is how they would write it. Okay, the statement would be placed below the condition. Okay, like the below the keyword if, below the keyword else. But basically C++ knows what you are doing. If you have only one statement, something like this is one statement under if condition, and this is another one statement under else statement, under else keyword here. So you can omit the need of having a curly bracket like this. You don't need to use curly bracket like this. Okay, this is how it's supposed to be written, right? Okay, you only need this curly bracket whenever you have multiple lines inside that. Okay, something like you have other things to be done here, like you are doing this sit out statement ka, okay, you are doing something else inside there, then it is compulsory to have the curly bracket because you have multiple lines under the same condition here. But if you have only single statement like this, you don't need to use this curly bracket, and you can write it in line, something like this. Right, so what we are going to expect now is that, let me rerun the code. Now if I press 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, you see any number negative 1 should be accepted as well, negative 100, right, all the way to negative 99999, okay, will be accepted except for 0. So 0 will let me exit the loop. With the help of additional variable, you can type any number as you want except for just 0. Unlike the Boolean just now, earlier in the example earlier, without this if num, or if you plan on using repeat as your cin item here, you can only enter either 1 or 0. If you enter any other numbers, you will get an error. Actually it's a logical error of some sort. It's not really an error that prevent you from running the code. It will happen during the runtime, so that is something what we call a runtime error. So okay, alright, so I guess that's pretty much it regarding flag. Okay, flag is simply I don't think I explained it to you earlier again. So whenever the num that you entered is not 1, repeat is equivalent to true. So when you say repeat is equivalent to true, so this repeat is gonna be true. Okay, so back to here. And when you enter 0 as the value of your cin here, so this condition is gonna be false, so it will look at else. So else repeat is equivalent to false, so this will be false. So while false, you will exit the loop. Okay, now is the time for me to play around with while loop a little bit with you. Okay, since we have learned all this structure, I think we can have a playground time now. So this is how I did with group C, and I haven't done it with you yet, so I'm about to demonstrate it to you now. So still with me, guys?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Alright.
Oh yes.
Okay, let me show you how to do a forever loop, as we call it. While loop here, followed by this parenthesis, is basically the structure earlier. When you put 1 inside here, it means it is gonna be a forever loop, because that 1 inside that parenthesis will never change, right? You can never change the value once you run the code. So let's run this code real quick. See out. Repeating this for count. Let me add 1 variable there. So I will create a variable here, and I use int first. Int count equals to 0. So we start counting from 0, right? So while 1, you have this repeating for blah blah blah. Okay, let's see if I can show you the mess that's gonna happen afterward. So let me run the code. Oh, sorry, it's still 0. Repeating this statement for 0. It's not complete. It's not a complete sentence times. Alright, that is how it's supposed to look like. But I forgot one more thing here. Count plus plus. It should be count plus plus. Right. Okay. So now let me run the code for you. Alright, as you can see, there is a running number. Can you see that running number, guys?
Boleh.
Okay. I need to turn on my light first. It's too dark. Suddenly it's becoming too dark inside this room. I don't know how it looks like in OBS now. Yeah, okay. Looks okay. Right. As you can see, the number keeps on running and running and running. It's due to the fact that my computer is processing this number very fast. There is 8 total of cores currently working on this calculation. As you can see, my terminal is consuming 121% of CPU resources in order to process this number right here. Okay, if I stop the code, you can stop the code when it is running by pressing Ctrl C. Okay, Ctrl C, remember that, everyone. Ctrl C will stop your code from forever running. Something like this. You can never stop the code from running except for closing. If you close the window, you can also stop the code. As you can see, the number has reached what is it? Wait, my computer is crashing. My computer is crashing. Alright, okay. Oh, this terminal window is crashing. Okay, wait. It's not responding. Alright. Yeah, it's back. Okay. Be careful with this, guys. Okay. As you can see just now, the value gets added up very fast. Okay, in 1 second I can reach like 500,000 of calculation. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, like 300,000 calculation per second. Okay, it happens very fast. It's gonna consume all your CPU power, your memory is not that much. It's only CPU. As you can see, the memory processing here is you see, all my Radeon is completely exhausted now, the memory. So this is what's gonna happen if you do a forever loop. A forever loop will occur in your loop whenever you have a static condition like this. A static condition, meaning the condition will never change. This is also similar to true. Okay, when you say while true, okay, I will recompile the code, I will rerun the code, you are still gonna see the same result. Okay, you don't want this to happen in your code. Alright, please avoid this from happening in your code. So never have a static condition like this. Okay, you must have something to modify that condition, something that we did with flag control just now, right? This condition inside here must be variable. You can change the condition, the value. Instead of true, you can change it to false. Alright, guys?
Alright.
Okay, except for you can exit the loop. If you plan on doing so, you can do something like this. This is actually part of your topic 4, breaking away from the loop before you reach the end of your loop cycle. But let me show you this example first. If our counter is let's say larger than 1 million. Is it 1 million now? One more? Alright. If counter is larger than 1 million, then you use a keyword break. You have seen this break keyword before in switch case. Yes, in switch case, in each every case in your switch structure, you must have the break statement. Okay, otherwise something unexpected will happen to your code. So this break is basically breaking away from the loop, breaking away. So let's see how it runs. So my code will break away from this loop when it reaches 1 million. As you can see, about that, 1 million. So let's see once again, how long does it take for me to calculate to 1 million, starting from okay, 0. Okay, 1 2 3 3 seconds. Okay, it only takes 3 seconds for me to reach 1 million cycle of addition process. Okay, we are only doing this addition process inside here, so it takes only 3 seconds for this computer to calculate up until 1 million. You can try it on your own PC as well, and you can see if you can beat me with the speed here. Okay, if you are using Intel Atom, Intel Celeron, you might not be able to reach 1 million in 1 second, in 3 seconds. So you might need even more, is a longer time to reach that value. So this is breaking away earlier than expected. Alright, but let's look at the example that we did earlier. I is lesser than something. Alright, let's do this once again. I, okay, let's use the previous example. I is lesser than 9, let's say. So we comment out that line first, and then let's see the output once again. Oh no, sorry. See, I keep on forgetting this here. Plus, right. So this will give me 0 to 8, right? So if you plan on exiting the loop whenever the I value is 4, you can tell the program to do so. So if count is 4, equivalent to 4, let's say, breakaway. Oops, what happened now? What's going on now? If count is... Oh, where is count? Sorry. Count didn't exist in this code, so I forgot to change that, right? So you see, it will break away once the I value gets to 4. So the last value get printed out is 3. And it's gonna be different if you do it this way. If you do it pre-increment method, if you use pre-increment method, you're gonna get a different result. You see, you are starting from 1. That's the difference actually. You're starting from 1, but you are gonna end at 4. When it reaches 4, then it's gonna break from the loop. So okay guys, okay. Alright, for your test later, for your quiz, there is one important topic that you need to put your focus on, which is okay, you look at test practice here. Test practice, under this text practice, I have this answer scheme with provided here. So your quiz for this upcoming Saturday, is it okay with you guys on Saturday? Are you guys having problem with that?
Okay, sir.
Yes.
Satu okay, huh? 10 to 12. We
Yeah.
plan on doing it 10 to 12. So I hope that you have no issue with that particular period. You have no other things to do kan? No other extra class kah? You have other test examination ke semua? Sit down. Alright. So you refer to this test practice here. This is gonna be something similar to your quiz. Okay, it looks similar in its format as well. There are gonna be three parts. So the first part is all objective, something like this. Okay, something like this, all objective. And then for the part B is subjective. You need to write the answer. Okay, it's not selecting the answer, it's writing the answer. And one of the question under part B is this evaluation method, style of question. You will be given some statement here and there like this, cout, multiple cout, and then you are required to trace the output. We call it trace the output, something like this. If you have cout z with one space here, and then another value by this expression here, you will need to trace the output. You write the output straight away. Okay, like you know that the first one to be printed out is z, so the z values right now is somehow 13. So z plus k is actually the previous process here, z plus k. So you look at z is 3, and then k is 10.2. Right now the value of z plus k is gonna be 13 rather than 13.2. That is simply because the container to keep the value later on is still z. As you can see here, z is integer, so integer cannot store decimal number. So whenever you are keeping decimal number inside an int variable, it will keep the number before decimal point. So 10.2 plus 3 is gonna be 13.2 in your calculator. So if you calculate So 10.2 plus 3, you are getting 13.2 by right. But since you are putting this 13.2 back into z variable, as you can see right here, the value of z is gonna be 13 only. Alright, paham tak? You understand this? Berapa orang je jawab tu? Everyone else is, I think, sleeping or whatever you are doing. See, oh, I think I'm too bright in YouTube. Too bright. Okay. Okay, that is about the 13 here. But you need to do a lot of practice regarding this question somehow. Okay, this is the type of question that will come out. Okay, but what I want to stress out now is that is particularly about the data type. The data type of the variable needs to be taken care first before you start figuring out the output. So you need to know the x and z here is being declared as int variable, and while y and k has been declared with double variable, the double data type. So only double data type can store decimal point, something like this, 23.5, 10.2. If you declare, if you replace this double as int, you are getting 23 for y and 10 for k. It will ignore 0.5 and 0.2 at the back here. So be careful with that, guys. But what I want to show you is increment, post increment and pre-increment. I think I never done that with you. So let me show you what does it mean by that. Let's say we have an integer called x here, x, and let me declare x as 10, right, real quick. Okay, let me just see out x here. So by right, I don't need to ask you now, okay, but I'm gonna ask you later. So by right, we should get 10 here, okay? If we were to have another operation down here, okay, let's say this is plus x, right? So what's gonna be the second value down here? Okay, anyone answer me verbally. What is the value of x down there when you have plus x? Or is anyone answering through the chat?
I think lah.
Berapa?
I think 10 lah.
10 sir, 10.
It's not 10.
Wah,
Oh, I think I know.
Plus x. What does it mean by plus?
11.
It
Add.
20 kah?
You need to add what? You need to add
At
what to x? Add what?
10.
Add 10. This is you need to know the definition of increment and decrement. They will increment by 1. Okay, whenever we say increment means by 1. Increment by 1. So it's basically equivalent to plus 1. So whenever we say decrement, it will happen by 1 as well, but minus 1 like this. Alright, so the next value is gonna be 11, right, as you can see here. Okay, let me do a lot of see out here so that you don't see my terminal. Okay, you need to, alright, look at this. Oh, I need to have many see out as well before that, okay, so that you won't see my terminal interfering with the output. Alright, okay, can you see this clearly, guys?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Next, let me test you again. Okay, what is the value of x now?
12.
11.
The last value of x.
Oh. 11 also.
11? Why does it still 11?
Oh,
12.
12.
12. 12.
Saya mau test saja tu.
Mau tes saja. Pandit.
Nah, di mana?
Okay, the next one is gonna be
Tahu. Okay guys, tahu dulu guys.
okay. What is the fourth value here gonna be? The fourth value.
11.
12.
12.
Okay, 12 confirm confident
12.
Alright, 12 betul. Okay.
Dah, so make kami A tu, sir. Pandai yang.
Okay, 12. Okay, how about line 16?
10.
10.
Line 16.
12. 10.
10. Okay, okay, good. Alright, just
10. 10.
alright, just let it be 10.
Ah.
You don't look at the previous value. You don't look at the initial value anymore, you know. You are changing the value inside of x. The value inside the container is keep on being changing here. Right? You are changing the value starting from line 12 and then line 13, then line 14, 15, 16. Right here, what you did just now was a post increment, right? This is a post increment, meaning that you need to add 1 to x later on, meaning after you have finished line 15 here, which is still 12 just now, still 12, you need to add 1 to x when you move to the following line, which is line 16. That is why your x become 13, because it has this post increment method before that. Alright, so let me add one more statement down here. Let's see if you can guess the answer after this. Okay, so what's gonna be printed?
Oh, 12, sir.
12. So,
Line 17 ya, apa yang print? 12 kah?
12.
12 Alright.
So, saya left.
It's still gonna be 13, you know, because this is post increment, post decrement.
Oh, post increment. Yes. Yeah.
Don't minus yet.
Yeah,
Something like that. Don't minus yet. Minus later. Right? Don't minus that. But the value will be minus afterward here. Okay, if I print out this one right here, you will get 12.
Oh.
12 down there. Right?
Oh. Yes. Understand, sir.
So you need to be careful with post operation. Post operation is quite tricky. Okay, now it's 12, right? Okay, now it's 12. Let me let the value of x become something much larger. X plus 8. Alright, so what's gonna be the last value of x here?
I think lah, sir. I think.
Berapa?
20.
Tadi 12 kan? Last value of tadi 12 and then plus 8 berapa? 20.
20 lah, sir.
Alright, betul lah, 20.
Yeah.
Okay, 20. And then this is where the tricky part. Okay, tricky part is like this.
Oh, I know, sir.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, obviously you know now. Okay, wait.
Oh, I know, sir. I saw it. A plus, sir.
Okay, or if you get this correct, you get A plus for sure.
22.
Alright, here is 20 Here's still 20. Alright. So,
This 20.
okay, berapa jawapan X yang terakhir?
22.
22. Correct.
Oh, it's easy.
Oh, siapa yang jawab Tik? Memang A plus lah.
That's wrong.
Oh, that's wrong kah?
Yes.
Alright, if you understand this process, then you should be able to answer the quiz later on easily. You need to understand this concept here. Pre-increment, post-increment. Sorry? Pahalnya 22. Alright. So, you need the explanation, right? Okay. Right here, on my line 21, okay, don't get confused with that line, line number. On my line 25, let's say, so the x value is 20, or my line 26, sorry, so 20. And then on line 27, I am doing this post increment, right? So 20 should be plus 1, but later on. Not now, okay? Don't do it immediately. Meaning right here, my x value is still 20.
Yes.
Okay, so now x still 20, right? But here you will do this 20 plus 1 first. Okay, do the previous 20 plus 1. Sorry, wait. Do the previous 20 plus 1. That will increase your x to 21 kan? Because you are now doing the 20 plus 1. Do the previous 20 plus 1. And then plus 1 immediately. Due to the fact that you are now having this pre-increment. So plus 1 immediately, you combine these two, you will get 21 plus 1, so 22. That is why you have 20 here. Okay, you see 20 is the first 20 here. The second 20 is on line 27. This is line 27, and then this is on line 28. Okay. So you need to understand the concept of doing it later if it is post process. Okay, doing it later meaning not doing it immediately. Don't plus immediately. So you can use this simple like something to help you out in understanding. 20 plus 1 later on. So now x is still 20. But on the following line, you need to do that first. The one that you have been holding on from line 27, which is 20 plus 1. So you will get 21 here, and then you don't forget the pre-increment process that is still not being executed. So you need to execute it as well immediately, so you get to 22. So that is basically what I want to stress out this afternoon. Okay, and then don't forget to learn how to declare a character variable with array size like this, like our Hello Kitty exercise before this. You can answer the quiz using your phone, but be careful when you answer question part B. Okay, because part B is case sensitive. Something like if you accidentally write constant later on, right, for you to answer your question, your quiz, if this C is capital case, then you will get the answer wrong, right? Be careful with that. Everything is case sensitive. Something like if the question is asking you to create a variable named fixed price and it's all in lowercase, if you do it like F in uppercase, then you will not get it right. All right, you understand that? All right. Case sensitive, case sensitive. So be careful with your this one is also will come out. This switch statement will come out in your quiz, so you need to understand this as well. I'm not sure if I have gone through this example with you. Am I supposed to show you this? Alpha.
Show yourself,
Lang umadaan ba sa talong sir?
Okay, now I need to do just a simple switch case statement real quick. Just a simple switch case. Right.
Soal bocor guys.
It's not soalan bocor basically. This is I have this variable x, enter x, and then so we will do a cin here. I didn't do this with class C actually. Switch and then x modulus 6, let's say we follow that pattern just now, x but now let us do it like case 0, and then you do something with x equals to x plus 5 maybe, and then I could have a break statement here, break statement here, and then I could have more cases down here. This is gonna be my case 1. X might be added 10 for this case now, and then this one right here could be left with break, and then 2. I can have like 15 here, and then this could be without the break statement, and then could have 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, adding quite a bunch of new cases here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Am I following the how many cases? Oh, only 5. Okay, only 5 is needed. You don't have to go beyond that. So this one should be default already. Okay, let's do something different down here. Okay, how many break do I have to have here? It's like case 1 is nothing, case 2, or case 1 could be nothing. Alright, case 1 could be nothing. Okay, ada break tak dekat case 1? No break. Okay, case 1, no break at case 1. Case 2 got break. Okay, case 2 got break. And case 3 is empty as well. Case 3 is empty but has a break here. Really, am I telling you this? Really, this is basically showing you how it works. Case 3 break, case 4 no break, case 5 we got break. Alright, so there are only 3 breaks inside this switch case. So 1 break here, the other 1 break here, 4 breaks. So here. Okay, how do you do this, guys? Can I have something to doodle online? Do I have doodle online for me to doodle? Sketchpad? Can I do some doodling here? Like, alright, okay, now I can doodle. I'm not doing calligraphy, mind you, so we are just using pencil. Alright, pencil. How to erase all these things? How to erase, crop, pencil. Do I need to, oh, eraser? What? I'm not erasing everything. Oh, it's quite difficult for me to use this. Now it gets okay. What if I use this and choose white as the color, white, and then I make it as big as possible. Oh, it's still, is it outline? Is it outline? All right. Can I make it much larger than this, like 5? This is, oh, 100 is the highest one. Oh, size, sorry, size. All right. Okay, can you see this, guys?
Boleh.
Are you looking at my, all right, so let's say we have this kind of code here, okay, and let's see if I can let my X become something. Oh, now I need to change the color here. So X is, let's say X is equivalent to 8. Okay, X equivalent to 8. So you will perform the modulus operation. Sorry, I'm using this doodle. I'm not using my iPad to show you this, but at least you understand this, kan? So 8 divided by 6. So whenever you enter 8 here, and then this will perform a modulus operation between X and 6. So what you need to do next is 8 divided by 6. Okay, so you have something like this, right? Okay, this is how you do the maths. 6 multiply with 1, you get 6 here. So the answer is gonna be 2. So this 2 is the output of this modulus operation. So whenever you have 2 here, so you look at the case 2. Faham tak? Case 2. Alright, let me get to the code again. I need to see out the X value here. X is ENDL. Right. So what is gonna happen is that my X value will be added to 15. So the X value that I entered just now was 8. So X equals to 8 plus 15. So that's gonna give me 23. Betul sih? 23. Okay, let me run the code real quick. So let me enter 8. So X is 23, as you can see there. Okay, that is how you process this question right here. Alright, let me show you. Can I refresh just to, oh, cannot. So we simply cannot replace, but I need to find a way to fill up this. What the, can I crop? Can I just crop this thing out? Maybe. No, there is no easy way for me to, there's no easy way for me to erase this other than yeah, wiping off everything like this. Okay, wiping off everything, then I have to reselect black as my pen color. Alright, let us choose other case here, like say case 4, for example, something that will lead to case 4. Let's say my X here is gonna be 10. Is 10 gonna be, so 10 modulus 6. So 10 here divided by 6, right? So 6 10, so 1 here, so here is 6, so you get 4 as your remainder, right? Okay, 4 as your remainder. Okay, therefore you will get into this part right here. So your x is gonna be the value that you entered just now was 10. Here you entered 10, so 10 plus 15, so you will get 25 right here. But then since there is no break, as you can see, case 4 has no break statement. Do you see that? Do you realize that, guys?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
since there is no break statement underneath case 4, this is when it's gonna trick you out. You might think that 25 is the final answer and then you break away from the switch statement. No. Okay, since there is no break statement after case 4, you need to look at the following case, which in this case it is case 5. So case 5 right now, you just need to process the code straight away. You know that the current x value is 25, right? This is the current value of x, so you straight away put 25 inside that x. So x equivalent to x plus 15 here. So what you need to do is you put 25 inside this x, and then you calculate the new value, which is 40. Right? Then you will come across default, break. Then it means you need to break away from the case. So the input is 10, the final output is gonna be 40 instead of 25. Okay, do you understand this? I hope that I make it very clear to you.
Yes, very
Yeah.
clear.
What about if the case is like 1, something like 1 kan? Okay, let's change the this is where I get fed up with doing this. Alright, okay, this is neat. Okay, I just leave x equal to something there. So how to get to case 1? So let's say our input, it becomes curly. Oh, alright, okay, so let me write 7 like this. Okay, 7. So the modulus operation is gonna be like this. So 7 modulo 6, so 7 divided by 6, so 6 inside this is 7, so 6 multiplied with 1 you get 6, and then the corresponding remainder is gonna be 1. So whenever you look at case 1, there is nothing inside there, and there is no break as well, no break. So since there is no break, you will look at case 2. Okay, you understand that? You will look at case 2, and now you get the value of x just now, which is 7, the one that you entered. 7 plus 15, you will get 22 for your output. Then you break, and then you print out the value. So that is the output when we enter 7. Right? Okay, paham? Paham? I think that's basically. I can give you like example, and next example is 9, probably the last example. The last example here is 9, which will lead us to the okay, now I get this black hole, right? So return to this one. Okay, let me give you another example which will lead me to case 3, which is 9 basically. So 6 divided by 9, you know, right? So 6 side here is 9, so 1 6 here, you get 3 as your remainder. So you will get to case 3, and then you break away from that straight away, right? There is no statement underneath at case 3. but then you have break statement here, so you break away and you go straight to 27, line 27. So your x is actually the one that you have entered, 9. So let's try that. If you enter 9, x is 9. Okay guys, all right,
Okay.
that's all for today.
Yes, thank you, sir.
Okay, we will do on the next for loop. We will do this on the next session. We don't have enough time, by the way, but I need to allocate one session just to understand this for loop, because for loop is very complicated. There is an explanation here that you need to understand. So I guess that's it for today. Thank you for joining us this evening. So see you again next week. Selamat berbuka semua. Have a nice evening.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Okay.
Yes,
If you have any question, you can PM me whenever you like. Like tomorrow, I'll be free. Right.
Yes, sir.
So thank you for joining. Bye
Thank
bye.
you, sir.
Have a nice evening. Bye bye.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye bye.
Kerja.
Bye.